of men. What are some of the signs of women
Like
peacock?
imagine everybody just spreading when they told my real dad.
It's gonna be my ears. You know what I'm saying?
Physical
Ears,
state.
like, man, I'm
Who's the prey and who's the predator?
So I would
Yeah.
say at first the photographer would be the prey and then the artist would be the predator. They're always looking for somebody that could get the job done at the cheapest price, even at for free at that. The industry is very small in my opinion. I feel like things get around super quickly. Like I've heard about people like how shadow banning works. Like if you do one thing wrong with somebody, that one wrong person, it could end your whole career right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Peace, everyone. Welcome to the Full Notice Podcast. I'm back. We are back, and today, just like any other day, we have an awesome guest. I mean, I was, through the Instagram. Sometimes you just kind of roll through, and you're going and you're clicking, and I feel like I found someone who's like a gem in these streets. This individual, he's a photographer, and I saw some pictures and I was like, wow, who's that? Then I kind of went through the rabbit hole and I was like, man, who took these pictures? I used to have a photo studio, so I'm judgy when it comes to like photographers' work. And when I found this brother, I said, okay, this is some real good quality work. And so you want to introduce yourself, brother? Who are you? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
It was good as prior G's. Everybody call me G. Nice to meet y'all. I'm a photographer, videographer based in New York City.
Got to speak a little closer.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a photographer / videographer based in New York. I wouldn't say I'm just that though. I do a little bit of everything when you think about it. When it comes to content creating, or even producing on sets for videos, commercials, whatever you could think of.
Right.
Wait, what's the other question?
So tell me about yourself, man.
Alright.
Well, first of all, PG, what's up? Like,
Right, so I just started working on the merch. Actually, this is like the first sweatsuit I created about a week ago. Yeah, this is literally the first one. Probably like the second time me wearing it now. I'm trying to get into clothing now. So
Yeah.
it's like I've been doing content for a while, shooting for a lot of people, helping them build their brands. I finally decided I wanted to start building myself and my brand up. So created my merch, which is like based on my production company that I've also been working on.
that's
Which is
what's up, man.
yeah.
So what got you into production? Just video shoot, photography. What got you into this content creation world?
Right. Most people might not know this person, but this YouTuber called Tom Syndicate. He used to be a gamer. Grew up watching him, and I've really just looked up to it. Honestly, I've always enjoyed gaming. He was streaming, making a living off of it. So that's really how I started everything. And from there on, I started streaming, doing gaming, doing like Minecraft videos, Call of Duty videos, GTA videos. Started getting nice with the editing. Little by little, some of my boys started streaming with me. Some of them got into the whole music field and started asking me to shoot videos, photos for them. And little by little, I kept doing that and kind of fell off the track of recording and streaming for myself and just starting to do photos and videos for like my boys. And then I got super nice with it, started getting paid for it, taking bookings. And then next thing you know, I'm here, full-on production company.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you're young too. You're only 24 years old, right? So I mean, that's incredible, man. So start me off with, all right, your first, like you decided, all right, you're gonna do what? Photography? Was that like your first?
Actually, it was first video because I was if you look at my YouTube channel, I still have the videos up. I started doing sneaker reviews at one point. So after I was streaming gaming, which was a very short period, probably like half a year, I started doing sneaker reviews, reviewing these exclusive sneakers just whenever they have exclusive drop, like the Yeezys, especially when they first came out. I would go, me and my cousin, we knew about botting. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
Well, go in. This is
right,
full notice, B. We need to know.
right. So we was very into botting back then. We was good with the computers, so we would really we had ways to make sure we would win most raffles. We would join the raffles, win these sneaker raffles, go buy the sneakers and resell them. Before I resell them, slash me and my cousin resell them, we would do a whole YouTube video explaining the whole meaning of the shoe, the name of it, when it released, why it was released, who designed it, all of that. And I did that for like a good 2 years. That was starting to take off after one point, but I was just getting tired of being indoors all the time. It's like I'll go pick up these sneakers, then I gotta come back home, do a bunch of research on it, make the video, edit the video, and it's like I would not see the daylight at all.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, that's a lot of content. A lot of content creators. That's the life.
Yeah,
Real, yeah.
so it's like I wanted to switch it up after some point. I was like, I wanted to start going out. I was doing that since I was like 16, 17. I was about to be like 20, 21. And that's like the time people start going out. I was about to
Yeah.
get my ID and everything. So it's like, all right, now I want to be out more. And luckily, while I was doing those YouTube videos, I got super good with the editing and even taking photos. Because when I would go pick up these sneakers, like I was creating reviews on it. So I was like creating like a little mini commercial of the
Mhm.
sneaker and also taking pictures for the thumbnail and learning how to take pictures. Little by little, started taking pictures of my friends. Then from then on, like I said, just started getting more clients and
Right.
just started converting into the whole music industry. And not just that. Now, recently, honestly, that's what it got into, the whole music industry. But that gets so complicated. Now, recently, I realized, so I really want to switch out of it and not exactly fully switch out. But I definitely want to do other things like work on commercials for like more editorial movies, shows, stuff
Mhm,
like
mhm.
that, not just the music industry.
Right. So what is your experience like in the music industry, and what was like your first? Do you remember the first time you got booked? Like, how do you feel? What was your experience?
Probably the first time I got booked was with Lil Kiyu. She's like my favorite artist. Great friend. Me and her are still friends to this day. Just finished talking to her a few hours ago. She had came from LA. She was French Montana's first female signed artist.
Mhm.
She had hit me up when she came to New York, asked me to do like a BTS and photos for one of her music videos in the city.
What is BTS?
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. That came out great. We like had a crazy bond after that day. She was like the first drill artist I would say I shot with. After that I was locked in with her. We was doing a lot of things. She started bringing me to a bunch of other big events that she was getting invited to like just get behind the scenes, network, all of that. And yeah, from then on, honestly, I started meeting a bunch of new artists and doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I mean,
That's just what
in
got the ball rolling.
yeah, in the industry, it's like you meet people who connect you with other people, and it's like word of mouth, and then all of a sudden your work and your character is kind of what carries you throughout the industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. 100%.
What would you say to people that want to get into the industry, and from your expertise in it and your experience, what advice would you give to guys who are or women, whoever, that are trying to get involved?
I definitely would say keep in mind it's not about the money at first. Like you really gotta gain that experience and like really know that this is what you want to do. Like if you make it all about the money, it's not really gonna work out like that. Like you gotta want to do this, cause that's what's really gonna push you to go above and beyond everything you do. And people could tell honestly whenever you work with someone or meet someone, they will be able to tell.
Is it like a saturated market where there's a lot of photographers, videographers, or is there more artists? Like, how's the workflow? Is there a lot of artists that need photographers, a lot of models that need photographers and videographers, or is there more photographers and videographers, and you guys are kind of looking for? Excuse me. You guys are kind of looking for like the artists and videographers. How does that go?
I feel like everybody's a little differently. If right, I'm trying to see how you could say that. Let me think real quick. Having a little brain fart right here.
So like, all right, who's the prey and who's the predator? Like,
So I would
yeah.
say at first the photographer would be the prey, and then the artist would be the predator, because they're always looking for somebody that could get the job done at the cheapest price, even
Mhm.
at for free at that. But then once you gain the experience, or if you have someone to guide you before you have to go through that, the photographer would technically be the predator at that point, because your work speaks for itself.
Right.
If you start posting and like working with certain people, it's gonna be noticed, and if it's like great quality work and something that everybody likes, it's gonna be, people gonna reach out to you. Because in my case, that's how it be for a lot of things. I don't really reach out to anybody, because me, I try to focus on my own content and my YouTube and all that. But then people see like what I could actually do on my page, and they're like, all right, they reach out to me.
That's what I did. I said, yeah, this guy got it. Let me reach out. What's up, man?
Yeah, nah, I appreciate that for real. He's a go for that. I don't really have much people reach out like that until like really recently, that I've really been like stepping up my workflow, and it's like now I've been having more and more people reach out.
Yeah, that's the goal, man, to get you out. Is and one of the things that a lot of people, I think it's important for people to build rapport and have, like know who the person that they're working with is. A lot of times you don't know the people that are behind the camera. So hopefully this platform can kind of give people an ability, like especially models. Models may want to find someone that they're cool with, that they're chill. Some guys, I believe in the in the industry, are real creepy. Like they're creeps. You know what I'm saying?
That's really crazy too. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. The only thing about me, which is funny enough, I really do be living under a rock, but I have heard a lot and learned a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't be knowing too much, because I don't really socialize too much either. This is like my first time on a podcast, so I'm not used to usually socializing. Even when I get booked for something, like even if it's a major shoot, little shoot, I just go do my job and I'm out.
Yeah.
But lately I've been networking more, because honestly it's important to know these type of things, because a lot of times people try to come next to you for certain things, and it's like you got to know like who this person is, the history
absolutely.
behind them and all that, because then they'll make you look bad, and all that.
That's the thing, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I find it to be important for artists or photographers. I think this just a platform where they can speak and let their personality shine. You know what I mean? That way, women, specifically, or other artists, they can feel comfortable with who they're working with. They're like, okay, I heard him speak. I know what kind of mindset he has. He's not like a weird, creepy guy who's gonna try to have sex with me. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a very common thing. Yeah. It's like it's so crazy, honestly, but that's just like
artists, they try to use their clout and status to kind of get girls. That's known. I think everybody at this point knows.
Even girls, vice versa. Girls, they try to get on the artist thinking they're gonna change their life around, but it's like sometimes it doesn't work like that.
So
Most of the time.
Do you have any like interesting stories about things happening in the industry? Like I've heard so many crazy things that I'm just like I'm not even surprised anymore.
Right.
For people who don't know how the industry is, how's the flows? Like what's the inner workings of it?
Right. For the most part, I think a lot of girls know about this as well too. Is like sex sells, as people be saying, sex sells.
Yeah.
So they have to do a lot and like show a lot in order to even get certain places or to get to a certain part in life, depending what they're reaching for. Which is crazy to me, honestly. I find that insane. Even like, right, I'm trying to think.
Talk that talk, man. Talk that talk. We need to know.
Yeah, it's really crazy what it takes. And the industry is very small, in my opinion. I feel like things get around super quickly, especially after like being in it now. Like I've heard about people like how shadow banning works. Like you would not make it anywhere. Like if you do one thing wrong with somebody, that one wrong person, it could end your whole career right there. It's
really?
Like, yeah.
Give me an example of that. Like how does that work? And I will say, me being somebody that I'm not super involved in the industry. However, I know a few people that are involved in it, and I've heard that same exact thing. Where you wronged the wrong individual, and if word gets out that you're kind of shady or creep or weird or whatever.
It shuts everything down if that happens, literally. Because again, when it comes to that whole industry thing, it's a very small community. I feel like not only that, everybody just knows each other nowadays, so it's like everything's gonna get out real quick.
Right.
And if you got a problem with anybody in there already, it's like it's gonna make it 10 times harder to make it out.
So what? Any stories about kind of like what the workings of it and how things happen? And then after that, I got a question about the Illuminati, cause
Illuminati,
yeah.
right? That's insane. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of like a good story, kinda. Yeah. Give me like a little second right here to think about something.
Gotta be something crazy.
I honestly know people, but I can't name drop right now because
Right.
it's like,
We'll make it real obscure.
bruh, trying to think.
Shorty A went to a party and saw Celebrity B.
Right. Oh, so one that happens a lot when a lot of these girls do mess with an artist or celebrity. That alone ruins their whole career working with that artist or anyone near that artist. Because if a girl wants to give it up and start talking to an artist, you never should mix business with pleasure. Once that happens, the artist tends to step away and wants nothing to do with the shorty. That happens with me a lot, where it's like I'm casting models, and it's like the model happens to talk to the artist, they do something. Artist doesn't want to work with her ever again, and it's like, all right, now she's not getting booked anymore because she couldn't keep it professional, but neither could he, of course. Which, well, again, it's a fault at both ends right there.
Who do you think? Okay, so if you had to give advice to women that are in the industry with regards to working with artists, what would you tell them?
Definitely always keep it professional. Especially how you're meeting them. If you're like not meeting them directly, it's through like an agency or someone's referring you. Always keep it professional. Usually it does not end well if you're not keeping it professional. That's pretty much the most part of it.
How often do you see women not keep it professional?
Pretty often now, I realized, honestly, and it's again, I started trying to have better communication with the women and the artists, because it's like, all right, now I notice that sometimes the women want to be like this and so do the artists, but I would just like to know when that's the case, because then that's how I would know how to make that work out betterly, instead of trying to put a professional girl with an unprofessional artist and then making her super uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I heard a story recently of a artist, that they were in a set, and apparently, they went into the whatever, into like a shower, and then they were supposed to do something, like the women were supposed to be in the showers and look sexy and all that, and then all of a sudden, here comes this guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into the shower with you," and it's like a small shower, and he's like, he literally got butt naked, and it's like hard to believe that this really that happens.
Right, yeah.
But
That does, honestly speaking. That's why I was like, you just gotta know at the end. One, a lot of times, things like that, well, right, it's like that could just be a mixture of different things. Now, that's a fault with the artist side of things, and a lot of times that's the biggest issue here. Because lately I've realized, like, the woman would be professional on set. And so with like the whole production team, but again, it's the artists is a lot. It's like they're just there, and it's like if they're with their boys at that too, that's what messes up a lot of things, because it's like they're not used to that professionalism. They just like, oh, baddies, it's like get on that, start doing all the extra stuff. So yeah, in that scenario, it's just right. That has to do with the whole artist and the whole right. That's different. Right? I haven't been in that situation.
Yeah, that's a wild one, right?
Yeah.
Is there any, like for the artists that are, let's say they bring their friends and there's a bunch of models around, maybe some of these models are models that they've seen on their gram. They're like, "Oh, damn, there she is." Da, da, da. How uncomfortable do you think it makes the models? Does it affect the photographers and the workflow? How do you guys kind of go around that situation?
It definitely does. It always depends how like on top the artist is being, but the model always will like we try to communicate with them all the time. Like, oh, if you're feeling uncomfortable, let me know. Like that could let him know, and hopefully that stops. We could find a solution to it. That's usually how it goes. But usually they don't drag it too much. It's not the biggest situation. Not only that, you gotta remember sometimes these models are entertaining the situation, so it's always a little bit mixture of both.
Mhm.
So it's like if you want to entertain it, it's like at that point. But yeah, I think, but again, it has to be like offset. So that's why I've been learning the different types of sets. Goes back to like why I don't like doing music videos like that, because they're not as it's not as a professional setting as like shows and commercials,
Right.
movies, all that. So it's like that's what
What,
also makes a big difference there.
what are the differences between a professional
Like
set and
no drinking, no smoking, like those type of things. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of video shoots go crazy just because they allow the drinking. So it's like I realize on bigger sets, there's no drinking allowed, no smoking, because like everybody's gonna stay professional, you know,
Right.
not start acting out of character. You know, guys and girls could start acting out once they start drinking. So that's one major thing. Not only that, when you're actually casting everybody, then you're being paid to be there. It works a lot smoother. So it's like I've never done anything that or casted a model that's not paid, because then that's gonna be it usually doesn't run smooth. There'll
Right.
be last minute cancellations. They're not gonna be professional on set, running late, all of that. So it's
Mhm.
like it's about respecting people's time, and again, everything is you're being paid to be there. So
Right.
I definitely gotta
That's something
be
that
professional.
I've come across. You know, when I was, you know, we had like I said, my photographers, you know, they would charge a fee if you don't make it. You know, you need to actually put a deposit to kind of hold the studio down.
Yeah, that's
then
something I started even doing this year,
Yeah.
100%.
Because you know a lot of people are flaky, right?
Mhm.
And we don't have time for the flakiness. You got to be kind of like on point.
Yeah.
This is a question that I asked Ashley. I'll ask you too. It deals with the Illuminati. You know, kind of like the sets and the way that the set is kind of set up. You know what I mean? Sometimes you look at a music video and you're like, wait, hold on. Is that some demonic stuff going on?
We
What's
was
you
just
know?
talking about this last night, like watching a lot of the big like music videos that got like over 1 billion views
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube. It's
There's
like
a lot of symbolism involved, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just doing that personally, just to trick the audience. At the end of the day, I'm not too deep into the Illuminati, a little bit, but not really with these artists. To be honest, when these artists are portraying it, I feel like they're just doing it as a gimmick almost. It's
Just kind of
marketing
yeah,
strategy.
marketing strategy. Throw that in there, and
Mhm.
what about the you know, like the producing houses, the you know, the big time directors and producers of these, and you know, in the music industry. Have you found yourself working with some guys? And how was it if you have?
I have actually, and it's been pretty great. Honestly, I'm not too many of them so far. Probably one of the biggest directors I've personally worked with. It might have been Ben Mark. Ben Mark shot this. He does a lot of great work. It was definitely great working with him.
Do you learn a lot while you're working alongside these big time, you know, producers?
100%. I see how they are able to like get videos done in like complete different environments. Even like the rigs they make to like get certain shots. Like I'm always learning a lot on every set. So I
Mhm.
definitely love like creating at the end of the day, and that's why I've been getting into production myself, because it's like it takes a lot to get into a big production. And
Mhm.
honestly, what we've been doing I've been doing this whole time, music videos like in the hood, like little quick running guns. Like it's nothing compared to like even these like bigger label shoots is nothing compared to like movies. Like I've just started getting every now and then on set for movie sets.
Mhm.
Insane what gets put behind that. Even like again the cast, the whole production sheet, the call sheet of how everything's being shot, run, and everything. Like everybody got to be on point.
Can you explain a little more about, you know, your experience in movies and things like that? Because, I mean, I can't even imagine the difference is probably completely like two stark differences. A
Yeah.
producer shooting a music video. I mean, I've been in music videos where it's literally, you know, I mean, I personally haven't been in it, but you know, I like rented not rented. I just let my boy use one of my cars so that he could just, you know, shoot whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was, you know, it was one of those things where it was just kind of like a videographer from whatever, and I'm just gonna take this little boombox and put the music on, and then I'm gonna just we're gonna go crazy real quick and shoot this scene, and then it's like, you know, that's kind of how it was. It was just like, you know, mom and
Right.
pop store, not really corporate.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. And honestly, right, everybody got to start somewhere. So, you know, I don't blame him. That's how I started as well, too.
Right.
But yeah, it's just all about getting that experience, honestly, after shooting for some time. Like, I know what I want to do, what I don't want to do. I had good guidance from some good people that helped me lead me in the right path to avoid like being canceled and all that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely.
What are some of the challenges, with regards to like being canceled? Like, uh, what is some advice that you can give to people who are looking to do the same thing, like avoiding to get canceled? What is that?
Definitely like rely on yourself and try to like really do most things on your own. I feel like you're your most reliable person, and you're the one that could get things done and how it's gonna get done, when it's gonna get done, and everything. So once it comes to relying on other people is where it gets a little iffy. Luckily, almost my whole life I did most of the things on my own, so I didn't have to rely on anybody for anything, and I was able to finish on time, on schedule. Not only that, when I go on set, like people get to meet me just for me, not like because of somebody else, and that also just carries like whatever that person history is, which I wouldn't want to have on me. Depending again, it's not like.
Right. But that makes sense. It's like who's actually referring you is really important.
100%. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. 100% who refers you. That would help you, like, just boost you through the whole system a lot quicker. Trying to think. Thought again.
You be losing. You smoking?
It's funny. I cut down this year. I do smoke. Don't get me wrong. I do smoke. I definitely cut down. I'm trying to quit. I've been smoking like once a week right now. Soon quit.
Okay. Well, shout out to you. We rooting for you. Yeah, man. So here's another question that I have for people in your industry. What kind of equipment would you recommend for someone who's looking to get started in the industry? Like, what should they get? Low budget stuff doesn't have to be like the top quality, but if they want to get involved, what would they get? What should they get?
Honestly, in my opinion, it's not that difficult. You could get away even shooting with your iPhone nowadays. Definitely recommend your iPhone, even to just get started if that's the case. Lighting is pretty much key in a lot of situations. If you got good lighting, it doesn't even have to be expensive. That would really make like the quality of your video pop a lot more, and audio as well. But again, doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of programs and way to edit it that's free nowadays. You could just go on YouTube. Honestly, everything I've ever learned has been through YouTube. You could
YouTube scholar? You're a YouTube scholar?
I kid you not. Everything has been through YouTube. And that got me through everything. Anything I got a question about, YouTube or Google. Now we got Chat GPT with the whole AI thing, making things even easier. You don't need nothing crazy. If you are trying to get a camera, any camera that does at least 4K, in my opinion, doesn't have to be a crazy expensive camera, just 4K, and you're good to go. Honestly, you could definitely make it happen.
Well, I remember when I started learning about cameras, learning about lighting, I think was probably the hardest thing, really, because cameras, the way that I kind of went about it was like, okay, what's the most expensive camera, and then I work my way down from there and see what I could afford. You know what I mean? And then I remember trying to figure out about aperture and the ISO and all that. That for me was really tough. That was because I had to learn the science of light. Like I was trying to be a really good,
I still got the pictures here. This is from when I first started. Like me just going through it, looking at like screenshotting like all the ways, ISO, aperture. Anybody that ever asks me this, I just send them all of these right here.
That is key. That is so the struggle. I mean, I know your struggle because you actually are in it. Yeah, man. That was tough, man. And I remember I would go on YouTube to like Think Media, I believe they're called.
Yeah, I watch Think Media too.
Man. Shout out to Think Media. They really taught me a lot with regards to not only the equipment, how to set it up, like just a lot of information there. And shout out to all the people that honestly, because there's so much to photography, videography, camera, rig setup, how to do this, like ideas. It's being a creative, knowing your equipment, knowing what you can get away with, knowing what you can't. What was like? You ever had any problems like mid set? Because I know I've had photographers that, their camera was stolen right before a big shoot, and they're like, damn. And then they had to figure out ways to kind of finesse it and all this stuff. So, any like crazy situations that you've been through?
Right. I ain't gonna hold you. I be on top of my stuff, so it's
Oh,
like
word, you be on point.
I be on point. I
That's-
haven't had really much any issues personally. I probably witness other people have like some problems. Trying to think.
Can't like batteries.
Right, like that'll probably be the main
Yeah,
thing.
like a
Like,
battery.
I remember one time, what was it? I forgot the lens to my camera for a shoot that I had to go do upstate. It was so crazy, but my boy had his Sony A64. We still got it done. Honestly, it still got done. But I bought everything for my camera and everything. Is like it was supposed to be shot with my camera, it's a
Yeah.
Canon R5. And I had everything planned out, photos, videos. It's just I forgot the lens. I only had one lens at the moment.
Damn.
So I couldn't literally do anything. That was probably like the most that's ever happened to me. Besides that, I'd be having a checklist like before any shoot. I personally really be on point with everything.
So what about so you moved from, like, let's say, being a photographer, videographer, doing all these things, to now owning your own production company.
Yeah.
How was that transition, and at what point did you realize, like, this is what I actually want to do?
After I noticed that a lot of different directors kept reaching out to me for different things, because again, I was building up a production like mainly for myself. So it's like I just like creating and shooting. So I had bought a drone, I got the camera, I bought GoPros, the 360, bunch of lighting, and this is all for
Mhm.
my production. But not only that, I realized, money is still play here. Like I gotta make money to make a living here in New
Right.
York. So little by little, I started taking bookings for photos, videos, and then while I started getting on these big sets, I've learned about the lighting and the whole even like audio person. There's a whole person that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
the sound mixing. So I had certain things that just came into play every time for a different director. Like sometimes this one person would need me just for lighting. So I started getting very good with the lighting, how to do highlights, like all types of lighting, spotlights. Started doing that with some directors. Other directors, they just needed me for drone. I started doing the drone. We'll shoot drone shots for them. Done real estate. And a lot for music videos. Even now, this thing is becoming popular is the VHS, the camcorders. I don't know if you've been
The
noticing
old camcorders, like using the old
Yeah.
camcorders.
Yeah, so
Really?
that's very popular now. A lot of music videos, that's like the standard with the high quality and the VHS now. So I get
What?
booked a lot for that, but that's a big thing right now. Yeah, almost every video is being shot like that,
No,
especially mainly
wait,
because of
what?
the night vision mode on it. Is like a lot of people like that. You ever noticed
Yeah,
that?
I mean, bro, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Now that you're bringing that up, it's like,
Yeah, the
can't,
whole
yeah,
film thing been like becoming a whole trend lately. Because even like the film photos, not just the film videos,
yeah.
has been a whole trend. And I got myself some film cameras too, but that's a whole nother headache when it comes to again becoming a camera person. It's like you gotta develop the film for the photos, and then for videos, you gotta know how to convert those tapes onto the MP4.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's a lot.
it's a whole learning. That's why you get paid for it, though.
Yeah,
You're a professional at what you do. So,
100%.
dang. Well, you know, I remember I mean, I remember sometimes, I drive by like a shoot, or there's, in New York, they always have like this one street blocked off, and you just see like the acting and the
You
actors.
talking about for like big movies or like a regular shoot?
No, just, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I stop and find out, but
Cause sometimes they really close off the street.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
usually
yeah.
big production. But
Yeah.
I've been like on music videos like where we really bullshit that and just close the street off,
Oh,
like
word.
and do that. Cause sometimes the cops just don't even bother.
You guys are from the city, man. City people just feel comfortable breaking laws out there. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what you could get away with. You know.
100%.
So I remember, just passing by, seeing like some of the equipment that they're using. Some of the just it's definitely a different level when you're actually a producer. It's you're on another level. Like, you have to know exactly what's going on in your production. So how do you view your production? I guess, like, how do you go about being a producer?
A lot of this is presentations and writing down in my book. I brought my book bag over there. Like
Mhm.
all my notes are in there. A lot of this is a lot of planning, honestly, as a producer slash director. Is everything's about planning and presentation. You got to be able to present something to this label company of why they're trusting you to do this, especially if it's something major. And that's what helps me even get further, even on smaller productions. Is like knowing what you got to do on set and what got to be done, and being able to see it is what's gonna help it get done properly in the right way.
how much time do you put in, let's say, for a production? You know.
When it comes to there's like three stages to it. There's the whole pre-production, the actual shooting, and then the whole post-production.
Mhm.
So it's right. I would say usually I've already done things where it's like we only get a day or two to do a lot of pre-production, even for like major shoots. So it's like it's always doable. Honestly, it's just about if the budget's right and if it's all making sense.
Right.
But I would always say a day to two to like plan out and create a whole presentation to like explain how we're gonna do this. Another day to two to actually shoot and shoot it how we're gonna shoot it. Usually we get it done within a whole day. Second day is just worst comes to worst. And then when it comes to editing, it could be done within a day or two as well too. But we usually aim for like a week. You know, you want to make sure you get to look through it and make sure everything comes out right
Mhm.
and all that.
How what's usually, let's say, music videos, or yeah, I'll just say that. How what's usually the most expensive? Like, what's the biggest expense in a music video for the most part?
It would probably be the director himself.
Direct. How
Di-
important? Yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
the director himself, and then any rentals after that usually would probably be like if there's a house, a car, and sometimes the models get pretty pricey.
Mm.
But everything else is really, yeah, it's really just the director because like some directors come with all the equipment already, so there's no need to rent any of the equipment, and then you just gotta focus on again just locations, models, and that would probably be the most expensive thing.
How important is the director on set?
I think that's like the most important thing right there. You got the right director, you could go anywhere.
Yeah, what explain the importance of a director if you can.
They bring the energy to the room 100%. Like they definitely know how to bring the vision to life at that. So if you got a good director, like he knows how this is gonna be seen at the end of it all, like how it's gonna come out. So it's like he really gotta have a good vision for this, have a proper shot list of how it's gonna be shot. Like that's really the most.
How knowledgeable would you say a director is more creative than the people there, or are they just more of a visionary? They pay more attention to detail. What separates a producer from a director? And
Right, I feel like the director really has like the vision there, like they really bring the vision to life. The producer is just really the connect to everything. Like he helps the director like budget or really just get it done. Like if the director wants to like have you floating in the sky, like okay, the producer gotta help you figure out how we're gonna get that done. But it was the director's vision at the end of the day.
so usually for big companies, they have their director kind of lay out the script, and then the producer's there to kind of bring it all together.
Yeah, literally bring it together, find ways how they could save on it, or if there's something even that could be done better, they'll bring that up, even if it's more expensive. But they just bring up their ideas, yeah. But main thing is they're the good ones that's really gonna bring it together, even create like the whole shot list, the call sheet, all of that.
And what are other key elements to making a good production besides the director and the obviously, like the cast? Like, what kind of energy needs to be involved? What kind like, or what kind of energy do you like working with?
Me personally, I've seen directors be on set with a big crew. I'm more of a 2 to 3, maybe 4 crew max. Personally, is like I can't be in charge of so many people. It's like overwhelming to me. So me personally, I try to stick to projects where, and honestly, I believe most projects, and I've talked to this with other directors, could be done with like a solid 4 or 5 man team, the most. That's my personal opinion of how
How the production quality, you could get it done all done.
Yeah, I would say definitely like 4 to 5 people because when you have too much people, then you start losing track of stuff. People start bringing things up that just doesn't make sense. It's like it's a lot of different
Ideas that really,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it starts to become a little distracting. I was point.
It's like when you lose when, let's say, you're thinking of a word and you just can't find the word, and people just start shouting words.
Yeah,
Like,
and that
was it-
happens a lot on
yeah,
set.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, unless it's like again something major. If you're like on a movie film, of course you need a whole team for that. And it's like at that point, it's like I might have somebody for something. But that's why you also have a producer because the director do gotta stay focused. So the producers usually take all those questions, handles all of that, puts everybody in their place, while the director still focuses on the vision, making sure it's being shot how he's envisioning it, how
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be coming out, and everything.
Do you look to become a director at some point, or production, like being just a producer is something that you
Right?
prefer to be on?
I've actually figured out what I want to do is what I started doing, and what I've been getting back into is just vlogging and streaming. I loved vlogging myself. I used to do like social experiments, but something came over me where it's like I had this whole social distancing at the moment. Is like I could not talk to anybody, even though if you go on my YouTube channel, I used to be going up to people, interviewing them all the time. But now I can't do that for the life of me. I've been warming back up to that,
Mhm.
and that's definitely what I would like to get back into. And again, I like the whole production side of things, so I like to help other people bring their visions to life. So I definitely do like doing that while still bringing my vision to life
Right.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. How much time do you spend on like on your content?
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7. Huh?
I kid you not. It's like I wake up straight to the computer and I could edit for days, or I could or I'd be shooting for days. It's like once I'm off not editing is because I'm shooting, and if once I'm done shooting I'm right back to editing. I just been trying to find a balance where I'm getting people's content done and my own content
Right,
done.
right.
Lately it's just been overwhelming shooting for everyone else because I've been getting a lot of hit ups for different things. But
That's a good thing.
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
a blessing.
yeah.
That's why I've actually got into the whole production company, because it's like now I be needing a team. Like I love doing it all alone. Don't get me wrong, and it got me so far. But again, it can only get you so far. So it's like after some time, I realized, okay, I definitely need a team, because that's the only way to get to the next level. There's so much work coming in. Can't do it all yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, you need a management. You need to be able to manage your team.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for finding a solid team. I think anybody could relate with that. Like
Absolutely.
finding solid people that you could rely on, trustworthy, all that long term at that too. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah, if people could just, what are your thoughts on that teamwork? Like, how important is teamwork in what you're doing?
It's definitely the most important thing. Everything I've noticed, like again, like I said, I was getting into shooting for the shows and movies now. Those productions that I be with, even like the cast, is like they're all family. They even tell me this back to back every time. These are people they grew up with, like they've been doing this for years together. So they got that trust, that bond that they really need to make sure they're getting it done. Everybody's playing their role and everything. So it's definitely kind of the most important thing is having a good, solid team.
What would you say that the life of, let's say, like a producer, I mean a director, right? He wakes up, he writes a little bit of his script, and then figures out, I don't know, the vision that the artist gives him, and then he kind of brings it to life. Or how does that, what's the process there? Like, if I'm an artist, I'm an artist and I don't know nothing about getting a music video, but I got $10,000, and I'm saying, I want to make a big hit. Like, this song that I have, it's good. I want to make a music video for it. All right, so now they hit PG. What's up? How do I get this done? How do you go about it? What's the next step?
So if that's the case, I would have them first send me the song. I would definitely love to get to know the person too, because if he's trying to invest 10,000 into a video, I know that he's serious about that. So I want to know what are his thoughts. I want to hear the song first, then I want to find out what are his ideas. If he got any ideas for the video, if he got a certain way he wants to shoot it, or some type of idea to it. Get those ideas from him, and then I'll mix it with mine. If sometimes the artist has the whole vision board out for me already, they come with me and they already got the whole vision. They just want me to shoot it and get the production side done, but they got a whole treatment for it already and everything. So yeah, if that's the case, that's different. But if not, then I'll create a treatment. I'll listen to the song, I'll hear what he's talking about, singing, rapping about, whatever the case is, and start thinking of different ways of how we can make this go crazy. Even like placements, when you're doing something that big, you want to have certain placements in the videos to make sure it does good. Like,
What are placements?
like special guests to come and pop out. Even like brands, if we got like a brand that we could have the artist wear this shirt, sweater, have it in the video, it's gonna help. When the brand is gonna promote it now on their page. Not only that, hopefully that's how you get more deals to get paid more for that video.
Right. Yeah.
So you know you're making the artist money back even after investing into you. Um, yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, honestly, I usually get like a one other person to help me with a treatment, if anything, because again, I don't want to have a million ideas and I keep getting sidetracked and having so many different ideas. So I'll probably have like one other person. We'll listen to the song a few times, start coming up with some ideas, and then we got to start discussing how we're gonna bring those ideas to life
Hmm.
within that budget that it makes sense.
How difficult is it being around some directors? I mean, I've heard that there are directors that are really, really mean. Sometimes they dig into people and they could speak real ill and things like
Yeah.
that. Like, what's your experience with that?
I'm personally not good in those situations. I've been in those situations 100% where like, and honestly, I don't blame the director. They're very passionate about what they do. So it's like one screw up or one thing off is like they're going off and it's crazy, like on crew or whatever the case
Why
is.
why is that? I mean, I just don't see a point of getting emotional
Right?
in that situation. But I mean, okay, you got to redo a shot. I mean, how much work is it? I mean, it's all digital at this.
Right.
You don't go back, unless of course it's like a car is gonna blow up, and at that point it's a one take type of a situation that costs like $1,000 for that one shot. But
That's different, yeah.
yeah,
But if it's nothing that major, right? I personally don't feel like nobody should ever be acting out like that, screaming at anybody or anything like that. So that's why it's like me personally, I just wouldn't work with that person again. I know people that they'll take that, and we're still totally cool. Like I'll be their friend, whatever. It's just I understand like working, like you're very passionate about it. I've got to speak to them about it, like
mhm.
after the situation and everything. And it's like they just expect things to always be perfect, and it's like that's just their way of expressing things. At the end of the day, like I have no control over that. I'm like, all right, if that's your way of working, I totally understand that. I just wouldn't be able to work with you. But at the end of the day, we can still be friends, do other stuff.
um, just to kind of move the conversation along a little bit, you seem to have a peace about you. Like you're very chill, very tranquil.
Yeah.
How did how did you find that inner peace, man? What did you go through in life, or how did you become the person that you are today?
Heartbreaks.
Heartbreaks.
Heartbreaks definitely got me here. I think that goes for a lot of people. If not heartbreaks, like very traumatic moments. I haven't really had nothing too traumatic, luckily. Like that's like devastating or I don't know, something crazy, crazy. But me, it has been mainly a heartbreaks. Is like I don't have that much trust in people, so a lot of things made me just stay home and really focus on myself. And throughout that time, I've been able to just create a lot through again shooting with my camera. One of the greatest thing I could have ever done was buy a camera because that I feel like saved me right there. That literally lets me express my creativity in a whole different way. I always scroll through my page myself, like damn, I document everything I be seeing. Like it's like literally documenting everything in my life. I have it all saved in my crib in this crazy hard drive. It's like 100 terabytes.
Damn, 100 terabyte hard drives. They make those?
Yeah, yeah,
How-
it gets even crazier than that too. But yeah, I got a bunch of 24 terabytes, and they add up to
Yeah,
just about 100.
and you just upload all your day vlogs. Like, yo,
Yeah,
listen, that's very important. For your legacy. You know, when you pass on or whatever, you want your children to be able to say like, "Oh, look at this was dad's."
I agree.
That's something real cool,
And I
man.
never thought about that till like recently. Honestly, I was always just like documenting and again creating. Like I have this thing now. Like I know I love creating, especially when it comes to like shooting with a camera. That's why it's like now it's like my production company is about mainly social media management. That's such a big thing nowadays. Like
Mhm.
as you can see, TV is no more of a thing. Now it's
Yeah.
YouTube and social media. All major companies are now investing into all these influencers to promote their products, all of that. So I'm genuinely before I even found out about that, I was already loving creating on social media and just being able to create and have like able to show someone like, oh yes, I created this.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I've been learning that business side of things and seeing how much of a big thing social media is becoming. So I definitely decided to create like a whole production team, company, start bringing a team together. And shout out to my boy Osvaldo. He's like the graphic designer in the
Mm-hmm.
in the team. He's been doing my logos. He's the one that created this logo.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's really been putting in work, and He's right. That's a crazy story behind that too. Cause growing up in the hood at that from Brooklyn, none of my friends or anybody I know like that wasn't about the whole creative process or doing anything creative. It's all about
Mm.
smoking, drinking, partying, every day being on the block. It was like I was the only one that got away from that, and it was very difficult for me to find anybody that's in that same lane as me. Even to this day, it's very hard. But I've been figuring out how to really network the right way
Right.
now and meet the right people. But that was always difficult. But my one boy that I really grew up with was Vala. He always stood by my side. I had taught him how to use like Photoshop a bit for his own thing because he wanted to do gaming, and he got super nice with the graphic designing. And now he's been taking over with that, and he helps me with like all these logos, and that's on even flyers and stuff. And that's probably like one of the biggest things that's helped me out so far.
Yeah, I mean, working together as a team is really how
Yeah.
you can achieve. Team. I think it stands for together each achieve more.
Wow. I
Right.
never even knew that. That's
Yeah,
fire.
it's like an acronym. They say,
I just wanted to update one thing too. Earlier when we was talking about the whole music industry, I just
Mhm.
wanted to pertain specifically to drill. Drill is extremely difficult. Any other like genre, like I worked with like R&B or singers or
Mhm.
melody type artists, like those are a lot easier to work with, a lot more professional. Again, that drill scenery, which is becoming very popular in New York, is what's been very difficult, and I've been like trying to figure out like how to work around it, even though it's still becoming like a very big thing out here. I just wanted to mention that 'cause I know
Yeah,
we was talking about the music for a while, so I didn't want people to think it was just like all the music industry.
yeah. Just the drill scene is chaotic.
Yeah, it's super, and you can imagine it's drill.
It's
So
young,
it's
young,
like,
young kids with no guidance for the most part. Based on what I've seen, I don't know. I'm not in the industry, but based on what I've seen, I mean, there's like drill beef where there's like 13-year-old just shot and killed a 16-year-old,
yeah.
and that like it's real crazy. So
100%. That is extremely chaotic. That's why I've been trying to step away from it. But right now, if you're like know anything about New York, that's the one thing that's just going crazy.
yeah.
So it's like I can't even avoid being around it half the time.
Well, now that you're producing stuff, you could kind of now, I would assume as like producers, directors, you have some say with regards to the kind of behavior, quality, or on set at least kind of things, and be as professional as you can be to kind of guide these youth to do the right things and make it the best.
A hundred
You know
percent.
what I'm
That's
saying?
something we definitely have been working on. Me and a few other even directors, influencers like YouTubers. We've been talking about this, and we definitely be having these conversations with them, and they definitely understand. So
Because
it's like,
at the end of the day, it's a business.
yeah,
And if you want to become successful, you have to do things a certain way. It's like
you can't really be doing a lot of crazy shit all the time out here,
Exactly.
running drills and all that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we were talking about how you kind of came up. Uh, you said that you came from the hood and you kind of were isolated from everybody else because they chose to be on the block, and you kind of trying to find your own path, find your own way of doing things. What motivated you to kind of keep going? Because in my experience, anytime you want to be great at something, there's a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges. You may have family that's like, oh man, why are you choosing to do this and you're not going to college?
It
or
wasn't
doing this?"
until like last month that my family started being okay with everything.
Right. So
But
can
yeah.
you go into that? Like, because I know there's a lot of guys out there who want to become producers. They strive to work with artists and kind of get their niche, get their information out there. So, what was your experience?
Right. So I'm trying to think. For the most part, it was mainly me just being alone. I don't know what was it that happened to me. I really don't. Where I just couldn't socialize or meet anybody. So I locked myself in my crib all day, every day. Started streaming, just editing all the time. And it's like I got into like this one relationship that I was still doing everything I had to do, and it was going great for like it lasted me. It was like my first real relationship for like 4 or 5 years. Ended horrible though.
Oh man, talk to me about it.
Oh my god. It
Yeah,
was
I have a bunch of questions that pertain to all this stuff we're about to get into. So, yeah, what well, tell me about this relationship, your heartbreak. You said that was what really got you involved. Tell me about the heartbreak and how old were you when you went through your first heartbreak, your second heartbreak? Like, go in, bro.
Right? I was probably like 16, 15 going through my first heartbreak, and it wasn't even like nothing even that major, but it still was major to me because it definitely changed who I was. I didn't want to be out like that. And again, it just made me like want to be to myself more. So
Mhm.
that's really what made me me. The second one was a little bit more complex. I would say I would get into that one because that's when I already had started my career as a photographer, videographer,
Mhm.
and you can imagine how that's like having a girl and being in the whole industry, shooting with models all the time.
Tell me about it. I don't know nothing, man. Tell me everything about it. Like how.
Right? It's like the whole jealousy, even though like I would try to be clear about everything. Not only that, I would always try to make sure any set I'm on, like I could bring my girl along because I actually wanted my girl to be a part of this with me, but that was kind of my mistake because once she loved it, she was enjoying it at first too, but it was holding me back because we was working at two different pace, doing two different things. She was just my regular girl, female with a regular 9 to 5.
Mhm.
While I was doing the whole film and photography thing, got her into the whole modeling thing. That became a thing. And then that was my mistake right there.
Wait,
Like,
yeah.
future
No.
reference,
Go
I would
ahead.
never want to date any model. I'm good off all that.
Really.
Yeah, 100%. So I got her into that.
Wait, man. You moving way too
I'm sorry.
fast. I got so many questions. All right. So, all right, you got you with your girl, your second girl that you. First of all, what made you say to this girl like, okay, yeah, this is I'm actually gonna love this. Like, I love this girl. What was the qualities that she had that made you, go
Right.
in like think like
We
that?
met like one random day, and honestly, ever since we met, we started talking like maybe like 2 3 days after that. But then she just started staying over, and she literally just stayed over ever since for the whole 5 years, and we
Mhm.
just became a whole thing.
You moved in together, like
No, she moved in with me. I was living by myself in a crib in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
She moved in with me, and she stayed with me for a good 4 to 5 years right there. But
How old were you?
I was what, like 17, maybe 8. Yeah, 17, 18.
Wow,
The
17.
oldest.
You already had your own spot at 17.
Yeah. My parents own the spot. I just help. It's a house at the end of
Yeah.
the day. But they be in DR all the time. My parents are super
Yeah.
hick Dominican, and they love it out there. So they stay out there. They got a crib out there. And yeah, so I was just living alone, and they trusted me because they knew I was responsible.
Right.
Honestly, I was very responsible as a young kid. So yeah, they had just left me in the crib for years. Right. It went great though. Honestly, I made it work. I was with her
I'm
the
sure
whole
it
time.
did. G, you had
Yeah.
your own spot. You were young.
Right, I missed out on a lot though being in that relationship. Don't get me wrong. It was like my prime years, and it's
Yeah.
like honestly everything happens for a reason. Though I am glad that happened because that was at the start of the whole me starting the whole modeling agency as well too.
Wait. You moving too fast, man. Hold on. All right. So boom. All right. So 17 years old. You met this girl. What are the qualities that she had? Was it anything specific? Was she?
She was pretty. She knew how to cook. That was a very
Yeah.
big thing to me. She knew how to cook. She was definitely a vibe, but she told me her history. You never know whether to believe a girl or not. But she only had like one other ex before that, so it's like it had all the qualities I liked about a girl. It's like she was nice, all that.
So bam. All right. Now you guys are fully blown into this relationship, and then what did you start picking up that was kind of off, that made you kind of
Everything was going great, but little by little, again, like I said, I talked to her about like, again, I'm trying to be a millionaire at the end of the day.
Right.
I'm trying to get to the bag. I was trying to get her on board with it, so I had to explain to her how we should. One, I'm already doing films. She was kind of interested in the whole modeling thing, so I was trying to get her into that, but for more editorial movies type of thing, not for the whole drill scenery and all that.
Was she model quality?
At the moment, yeah, but as the way she looking now,
Wait, hold on. Wait, we gonna get into all that. Wait, all right, so, all right, so she's bad and bougie when she young. You know how it is, girls.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so what happened? Like, you got her into the modeling industry. You got her into the industry, which was a mistake. What do you mean by that?
right? She just started doing a lot of things. Like I realized like some girls and even people in general, when you get like the first taste into the industry, is like it overwhelming. It takes over you, especially girls at this rate. It's like when she started doing videos for like drill artists and all that, every artist wanted her invited to every club. I'm not really a club person, so it's like now she's over here at the club all the time. I'm getting home at 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't do none of that. Like, why are you getting home at 4? I'm good.
Right. So what was the you got? I'm assuming you guys would argue about, why are you trying to control me and all that.
Yeah, so that would kind of be a thing. We kind of found a balance of with it though. Eventually, honestly, everything was we always found like a solution to it.
What was the solution?
One, it was no more going out late unless you just want to be single at that point.
Yeah,
It's like that's one, because like I just had to be clear about it. It's like, but this is not what I want to do. I don't want to keep someone. And she's inviting me to the club at the end of the day, but it's like it's not what I want to do. Like I'm trying to chase the bag, not be out here having fun all the time, all that extra stuff. So we was just definitely in two different mind spaces right there. Right, where was I getting with this?
So, okay, what you guys you put some restrictions on her, right? You don't want her going out late at night. Going to the club at that. I mean, club is for single people. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like, come on now.
Right. So then, I mean, that's very logical. And
even the people you meet, there's like it's not gonna be the top quality people. Like at the end of the day, it's like, come on now.
So you, and at this time you already love this girl, so I'm sure you're really looking out for the best interest of your relationship at this point. And then okay, now she's into music videos and then the drill scene. And what ended up happening? Like, how was this your heartbreak?
Right. So we were super deep into this. We're like 4 years into this now. I've been doing film and photos for a good while. I wasn't really shooting much celebrities, but I was doing a lot of big models and like just fire models at the moment. Then what was it? Sorry. I was doing that, and then so she wanted me to quit all of that. So not only that, I was shooting with these models, but I had her in the chats. Like, she was there for it all. My studio was in the house, so she was there for it all, even though she was in the room. Not only that, I wanted her to help me creatively, like set build and do different things. So I always wanted her right by my side. But I started noticing the whole jealousy factor. She felt uncomfortable, which I don't blame her. If that was the case, then okay, I tried making her as comfortable as possible. But she just did not want me shooting with other girls or just even texting other girls. So, of course, we're planning these shoots. I got to text them and all that. So all of that was a problem, even though she could see everything. And it's like, it's never like in a flirtatious way or anything. It's all just business, collaborating, shooting content. That's all it was.
Sure.
Nah, for real, honestly, and that's why I said it goes back to she was fake a blessing, because when I started the modeling agency, I was in a relationship. So some of these girls would try to talk to me, but I was actually super loyal to her, so it made me dub them, and thank God I did, because it gave me time to see what type of girls they really were.
Yeah.
And it's like I saved myself a whole nother headache from that.
You probably date to get in, like, you talk to girls to kind of date them and get into relationships, or are you more like, you could smash them and kind of keep it moving?
I personally, especially like the last few years, I try to get in a relationship. I don't really care about smashing because I'm really trying to get to the bag. But if it happens, it happens. At the end of the day, there has been moments that happen. So it's like if it's just the right time, but it's not like what I'm going into it thinking about. I don't care about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, because you don't go out. You don't go out as much, so your mind state is more so. Like, you want to actually build, if you're going to talk to somebody and
it's to build with them, and I'm expecting, like, again, a long relationship with them, like whether it's friend wise or again, if it's going to be a relationship, then that'll be a different case.
Okay. So then, go ahead, continue the story. All right. So she's getting mad that you're texting all the girls and all that.
So she wanted me to basically quit my whole career after like 4 or 5 years of doing film photos. And it's like, I'm on the edge of like doing a lot bigger and better things. She's like, I don't want you doing any of this. And I was about to quit it all. Don't get me wrong. Like, she didn't want me doing it. She just wanted us to live a regular 9 to 5. Like, just fuck all the social media, all that. Just be regular. And I would have been with that, but I didn't have a plan for that to get rich, and neither did she. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with my plan and what I gotta do real quick.
Follow your passions.
Yeah. So it just didn't
end
up working out. At the end of the day, I ended up catching her cheating, whatever.
Tell that story, man. Don't be shy.
Oh my gosh. I was literally at work, and I kid you not, the universe speaks. I kid you not. There's like, I'm very spiritual when it comes to a good handful of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely believe like the universe be speaking to you. Not only that, like you get a lot of signs that it's just like it's really meant for you. Like there's a lot of spiritual things I go through that I definitely believe in. I was just heading to work one day, and I just had this gut feeling that I had to call her, and that she wasn't gonna be at the crib, and that was just the case. And
You called her?
I called her. She wasn't answering. She kept texting me, and it's like the red flags. The
Yeah,
red
red
flags
flag.
started coming up, and I'm at work over here like, nah, she's up to something. Keep blowing up her phone. She ends up telling me she's going to a family party. I'm like, nah, that's it. The red flags already started. I got that gut feeling. I'm like, you could have just said that from the beginning, or even tell me beforehand. Like, why are you telling me last minute? We're like 4 years of the
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
Telling me this now. Then I keep calling. Eventually, I'm like, nah. We was arguing over text. She ends up calling me back. She's like, I'm in an Uber. I hear drill music playing in the back. I'm like, it's over. That's it. I already knew it.
Did you have any like were there red flags even before that? Like, did you catch her cheating on you with someone, or was it just like how would that, like you said, cheating?
Yeah, she definitely did. She did that Miami strip bullshit and cheated on me.
What's that Miami Strip
You
bullshit?
never heard of them? You never been?
Nah, what's that? Oh wait, that's going to Miami
Yeah,
just
like,
not for a girls trip.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
Oh
about. That's what I'm talking
man,
about. And then you know what made it worse is I forgave her thinking and believing that it was somebody from out there, but turns out it was somebody from the same hood as me.
dang.
Oh my god, I hate girls. It's just like, of course, but I didn't care. Everything happens for a reason. But
Come
yeah,
on, man. Don't tell me that.
That was crazy. It's just because the girl she went with, I already knew what time and day was on, so I
Mhm.
already knew what was going on. Everything just like fell into play after
Now
that.
let me ask you a question. What do you think is it about having fun, living that life, and being, women getting that attention? I mean, you've been around models. I've recently, know, I've been around models. I owned a modeling agency, so you could
Right.
imagine I had to
How
get a
did that
director.
go, by the way? Like you don't want, you don't own it no more? What's going on?
Oh, about the modeling agency.
Yeah.
Oh man, where do I begin, brother? It was quite the experience. I opened it up during the pandemic, so that kind of was what kind of threw it off. But I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I learned a lot. At that time I had to make it brief, I had a bunch of businesses in the location, and I like had a whole plaza, and I just kind of put one business, and then I rented out the next space, and I kind of just rented out the whole bottom because I didn't want anybody to take those spaces. And I put a clothing store. Right, that was like the first business I opened up, and I rented out two locations, and then I ended up renting out the space for the clothes that I was bringing in. I needed like inventory space, so I ended up renting another space that was like above it,
Mhm.
and then I ended up getting the space next to mine because I was just like, well, I don't want nobody to take that space and put something crazy in there, so I might as well just rent it out.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I put like a spa, kind of like in the for girls, their
Oh
face,
yeah,
like
like
a estetica
yeah.
type of thing. So what I ended up doing, I converted the one of the store spaces, which was a huge room. I just converted that into a modeling agency. So I had a store, a modeling agency, and then like when I did the modeling agency, I already had a photo studio. So I converted the spot where I was storing the clothes and stuff. I converted that whole spot into like a studio, like a photo studio.
That's fine.
So I would have models and artists come in, take photo shoots, and do all that. And then I had like this whole thing going on. I figured, oh well, I have a studio already. I have the store for the clothes, and I have a place where girls could, do facials, makeup, do whatever they got to wax and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just open up a modeling agency. So I got the licenses. I got license I needed. I opened up the studio. I mean the modeling agency, and then I got a director to come in and work. And that guy, he had already like models. He just didn't have a space. So I kind of just like brought him in, and our deal was, I'll give you the space, and we work together. But you're working for me now, and he was cool with it. And I had the photo studio, so it was like perfect. The models would come in, we do the shoots, they put on the clothes to add, it was like a well-oiled machine that was
Right.
just working.
You got the more physical part of that done, honestly.
Mhm.
That's something I gotta work on, because right now it's funny how you mentioned that. In my point of view, the way I run my agency is like I do it all from home on my computer.
As you probably, that's probably the best way to do it,
I
honestly.
do it, right? So
But
it's like that's
at
great.
that time, social media wasn't as crazy. I mean, this was just 2019,
Yeah,
2020.
but I totally understand what you mean, because even then I was still having to go to warehouses occasionally, because again you gotta take pictures of the girls. You
Yeah.
need a location to actually meet and talk to them and all that.
Yeah, we had a whole like office. It was some professional stuff, man.
Yeah.
But the pandemic kind of knocked it out. So
Damn.
it was just a lot of money that I spent just setting those things up and putting it all together. So
Didn't work out.
it didn't work out, but I did learn a lot, and I learned a lot about models and how models think, and yeah, it's. I was speaking with Ashley, and I was telling her, and we kind of agreed to this. It was like you have models are kind of two extremes. You either have like really cool, real cool models, or you have like models that are wild and just they're different people.
Yeah,
Very
no, I agree.
manipulative and very just different,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with
soulless
that.
almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real though. That's why I've been actually even trying to have like the communication. Like it took me a while to build up like this communication skill with the models, to know like those different types of models. Like,
Mhm.
all right, just let me know how you are, because then I know how to really market you and get you in the right places that you want to be
Yeah,
at.
yeah,
So that definitely know what you mean by that.
yeah. It's sad that a lot of times, I guess the promiscuity of it all is just sex sells, and women when they are young and have that much attention, they kind of lose themselves in the
And they don't even have the knowledge. They're super young, so it's like they just fall into anything.
yeah. What is some advice that you would give models like?
Never sign. I hate that whole signing thing. It's like I dealt with models like that. They all regretted it, and I don't. I feel like they're always taking advantage of you if someone's trying to ever make you sign. So that has been the case almost every time. So I'm like, I definitely say that for one.
Never signed to a modeling agency.
Sign to a modeling agency, and I feel like to almost anyone in general, unless it's real life changing opportunity where they're
Mhm.
like offering you millions or something. But if they just signing you just to sign you so you could be under their agency, yeah, definitely, or under one person like management. I know a lot of girls that deal with a lot of managers, quote unquote managers, that don't do nothing, but they just take a lot of credit for things that they have not done. And not only that, those people sometimes don't be good representatives of them. Like it's really the worst.
Mm-hmm. I noticed you run like castings and things like that. How's that been? And
All right, so I've been doing that for a while, honestly. Since I've been on set helping produce and direct a lot with a lot of directors,
Mhm.
I've noticed how they need models. Not only that, I used to work with another agency, which I don't want to name right now.
yeah, F that agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like you.
Word. So after that, we kind of had a fall off, and I had this other girl that wanted me to start an agency with her. So I ended up doing that, but then she ended up doing her own thing. But I kept running the agency, which is now Diva Castings.
Mhm.
And I've still been doing that. Now we've been casting models for a few years. Like girls are making a living off of this, literally casting in Miami, New York, LA. It's definitely been a very interesting thing to me. I've recently been learning how to really turn it into a proper business, because we've been getting endless castings. And me personally, I don't know why I did this, but I'm kind of non-profit. I was just like the middleman connect. Like I have a chat where I just connect them with the directors, and then everything else gets situated. Like I wouldn't even take a percentage from it or anything. And I still run the agency like that, but I realized like you can't run a business like that at the end of the day. So I've been trying to figure that out.
Yeah, we could talk, man. I know a lot about all that. So
Yeah.
those are things that I'd be interested to talk to you about.
But it's taken me a long way, honestly. The girls notice. the best paying agency so far. They get reliable work, constant work. Yeah, it's been going great, honestly. Like I said, I've been running this all through my computer on Instagram, just posting word to mouth. And again, I'm not a social person, but when you do meet me, I feel like I click with people very well a lot. So they tend to want to keep working with me for future projects and stuff. So that's what happens on with these directors and producers I be with. And they know that I cast models and I know a bunch of girls. So it's like they just come straight to me. I go straight to the chat, be like, listen, you're available for this. So all the girls available would submit. And that's literally how that would work.
Yeah. Yes, I know that game, bro. It's a lot of flakiness, but when you have like professional models,
they're getting paid. Like that's the main thing, because I be on
Yeah.
sets where models don't get paid, and like honestly, it's life changing to all these people I work with whenever they start booking me for models, because they're so used to asking girls to pop out to do stuff for free and all that. And
Can't do
things always go south at that moment. Like they don't come or they're running late. Something always goes wrong.
It's better to just be professional, pay the models to
Yeah.
come do their work and keep it moving.
100%. It works out every time. And luckily, that's how I almost always ran the business. So I haven't had much issues. It's like the girls always been getting paid. They kept their part professional. They've been doing their thing.
Okay, so a big topic that I think is a big life-changing experience for you was your relationship and, you catching that girl cheating.
Oh, yeah.
How hard was it for you those next few months or weeks, or how long did it take you to heal from that? Are you even healed from that?
Oh my God, right? That is so crazy. So it's like, that was like my first genuine heartbreak. And I was like amazed. I was sick to my stomach, couldn't sleep. Like I never knew like you could actually like
Be depressed.
Yeah, like really go through depression and like really feel away. Like I feel like it was like literally making me sick. Like I couldn't get up from my bed. I was throwing up for that whole week. Like it was the craziest thing ever. I'm like, wow, I never knew like this could actually be a thing. Especially like after being with her for like 4 years straight, like sleeping with her all the time. So it's like once that stops, it's like okay, everything just changes. And it's like it was insane to me at first. I couldn't.
She was living with you, right?
Yeah.
You kicked her out?
No, literally, hell yeah. After that, I bought all her shit. Honestly, I should have just thrown it outside. Luckily, though, I left that in front of her crib in a garbage bag.
You kept it chill, huh?
Yeah, I kept it chill, luckily, but it led to a lot of other crazy things that ended up happening, which changed my life. Long story short, I'm gonna just say this because I really don't care, but I didn't care because I was like, I already knew what I wanted to do in life, and if she wanted to mess around with another guy, whatever. It so happens that we so happen to see each other at a club like a week after that, and she's with her new nigga now. I paid it no mind because I got invited to that club with this other girl's birthday, and it was a section with mad girls, so I knew she was feeling away already, but I didn't expect her to be there or any of that. Long story short, I come out the club, he ends up setting me up. She sets me up with that nigga, and that nigga jumps me when I come out the club. I get shot. It's a whole fucking
Wait,
movie.
whoa. How did this happen? Like, what's going on here?
Well, honestly, I move on so quick. Like, I really don't hold, like, no grudges or anything. I just blocked her on everything. But I feel like I don't know. I wouldn't say just girls in general, but her specifically, she must have just really felt away and felt like something had to be done. Like, I don't know what the case was. Like, I let her go. It took me like a week to two to get over it. I see her at the club after that.
So this is within the next like week of you guys finished. You broke. So okay, because this is how I'm trying to figure out how evil we're like the person that we're dealing with is, right?
Yeah,
so okay, you guys break up. First of all, she got caught cheating. Right?
Yes,
they say women cheat. I mean, men cheat, but she got caught cheating.
She got caught.
All right. Then a week later, she's at a club. You didn't know she was gonna be there. You just go there, and there's a new dude that's with her there already.
Yeah, and I didn't care. I really didn't.
And during this time, were you communicating with her about?
Nah.
So you had no communications with her at all.
100% none. It's like we was completely done.
She wasn't trying to get back with you. She didn't try to.
Nah. She definitely wasn't. Honestly, it's like it was. Honestly, especially after I found out who the dude was, it's like it definitely wasn't gonna be a thing after that. Like, me and her both knew that.
All right, she got with the ops.
Yeah, literally.
Damn. All right, so boom. All right, now that she got with the ops, you go to the club. You have your section. You're paying her no mind. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are just kind of side eyeing each other when you're
People,
not looking.
you know, it's funny. I did when I first walked in, but the rest of the night I didn't. And then I came with one of my boys and like some of my homegirls. They told me after everything happened that she was watching me the whole night. I paid it no mind. I was having a great night that time. I really wasn't there for her. Like, it took me a week to get over it, but after I got over it, like, I honestly realized how much of a blessing it was that she got out of my life. Because again, I was gonna stop everything for her.
Right.
So it's like things started to get better after that week.
What's her nationality?
My or hers?
No, hers.
Hers, she's Dominican and I'm Dominican too, right?
Mm.
Little
I
crazy.
think Dominican women are the most beautiful women on earth, man. Honestly, so I'm about it.
Yeah, I'm there with you on that.
Yeah. People gotta really go to DR to really see it, and then once you see it, you're just like, wow.
For some reason though, right now I keep attracting Puerto Ricans. They're crazy.
Yeah, yeah. They salsa, spicy salsa eating Latinas, man. What you mean? They, rice and beans got them messed up.
Yeah,
Something
for
going on
real.
there.
Nah, yeah.
So, okay, boom. You get jumped. What
Right.
happened? You walked up to the guy and
Nah,
you said
I was leaving the club honestly, and it's crazy because I went with some people, but honestly, I'm not a club person. Like I said, I just went. Yeah, it's crazy at this certain point too. It was during my birthday, which pisses me more off. So I decided to go to the club. And then I'm leaving early because everybody's having a good time. But honestly, I can't be in a club more than like an hour or two. Like after that, it's like, what am I doing here? I gotta get back home, get back to work. I walk out. He just sneaks behind me with some other niggas, and man, shit happens. I'm on the floor. He ends up walking away. I make a call to cause she was dating someone older than me at that too. That guy was like 28. Fucking, I call my brothers and shit because they older and they could probably deal with this situation better than me, especially with all these guys there. So they get there in like a few minutes. Long story short, we end up chasing them to her crib, which I had a feeling they was going there. We chased them there. I can't even talk about none of this. I forgot. But long story short, yeah, I couldn't. It got crazy after that. We took care of the situation. And it was a very risky situation. We ended up getting shot at, but again, we took care of everything. But that changed my life dramatically. Like I know that I could have lost my life over a girl that wasn't even paying no mind after we was done at that too. It's like it just showed me so much about females and how they can move and how that be going.
Would you say that there are? I mean, 4 to 5 years in a relationship, and then to break up in a week later, already with the ops and already putting you in a situation where you could have lost your life.
100%. I found that insane.
I mean, that is.
And honestly, we had a pretty good relationship throughout the whole relationship. Like we never got physical or anything like that. We were always finding solutions to everything. Like we was traveling, we was doing a lot of things.
You look like you sound completely opposite of me. Like I'm extremely aggressive. Yeah, I'm not an angry. Like I don't get angry or emotional, but I'm very like demanding. Like you're gonna do what I say, or you're out.
No, I'm not like that. I'm very right. I feel like we could definitely like come to a compromise. Like I'm always down.
I don't do none of that. Yeah, I learned that women don't really want to be in that.
100%.
She wants you to tell her what to do. Really, she'll tell you no. You gotta compromise. No, you're gonna do what I say, or you could go do what.
Yeah, I started learning that now. That's why I do be on that time and now.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, you learn. You're young. That was your second relationship or whatever.
Yeah, actual relationship at that word.
So yeah, so that was how long ago was that?
That was like about 2-3 years ago now.
And then how was the healing process been, and what were the things that came from that?
A lot of great things. I had one throughout that 1 week after she did all that. That when I caught her cheating, a day after that, I had this model coming in from Boston to shoot with me. Me and her ended up becoming a thing, so she actually kind of helped me get past that. And I was like, you definitely always need to find someone else, in my opinion, to move on, because that's what was making it more difficult with her too. Moving on from her that first week was just having nobody there.
You had no roster.
Yeah, I didn't. And then this one model had came. It was all professional at first, but then we ended up becoming a thing first. She's not even, take it back. She wasn't a model. She is not a model. She just wanted to shoot with me. She's a manager at fucking Bank of America in Boston. Like she does her own thing, but she's just like taking professional pictures. And then we ended up kicking it off pretty well. and she helped me move past on that. Like I told her about all of it. That had helped. Not only that, then I forgot what it was, but I had got like some crazy big bookings after that. That's when like major celebrities started hitting me up. As soon like 2-3 weeks after she getting out the picture, major celebrities started hitting me up trying to shoot, network, all of that. And that's really when I feel like my career started taking off even more. So I'm like, everything happened for a reason. I would have never been able to focus on that being with her. And honestly, the fact that I was gonna quit everything, because again, we was 4 or 5 years deep.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop because I'm actually trying to be serious with her. So if she's gonna be loyal and serious, I'll quit it, whatever. I didn't care at the moment. So that happened. We wasn't together, and everything just worked out literally perfectly. I was like, the girl came into the picture, helped me moved on, and then I got a lot more work coming in again with the celebrity shoots, which was a lot more exciting because I kept doing more collaboration shoots, and it was all fun and stuff, but it would never be like that creative. So I was starting to lose the interest for it because nobody would ever get creative and like try to do anything different. But then with the celebrities, they have a little bit more of a budget, so it's like now I was able to get more creative with stuff, and it started getting a lot more like interesting after that.
Right.
And that's why I've been sticking on to that for now.
And so how has, since that time, I'm assuming she was a baddie that time, living her best life, right?
Yeah.
She's with the rapper and all that. Like she's living her life or whatever. But now, what's your opinion on her life and her, because she left a 4-year relationship.
Yeah.
Well, she cheated and got caught.
Right. Now,
in the 4-year
honestly,
relationship.
I don't even gotta speak about it too much because it's not even her. Everybody knows what's up with that. She ended up disappearing to a whole other state. She's completely MIA. Like she's just, things went completely south. I honestly don't keep up with her. I've seen her page probably once since then. Don't keep up with it. Things went completely south there.
But it's not what
I
it.
don't gotta say too much
Yeah,
about
it's not.
that.
It's not. I bet. Okay. Well, this is some of the things that I was talking about today that I kind of wanted to bring up. It was, I was having these conversations, and there's some questions that I wrote based on the conversation that I was having because we all need mentors in our lives. People that kind of give us good advice or kind of give us good perspectives. And I've been blessed to have one of the closest people in my life teach me. And as a man, I think that, we all need to have at least one or two men that take out of themselves and kind of pour into us their knowledge and their wisdom, their experience. And I was able to have, I fortunately was able to have somebody that I'm still able to this day kind of pick at their mind and learn from what they're saying. And it's always very insightful. And it's crazy when I think about it because, dealing with successful, high value men is different than your average, the way the average people think.
100%.
It's like when you're around men that are successful, especially men who are successful in life in general, not just with women, their perspective tends to be different than your average, person, right? Your average man. So, I'm having this conversation and I'm getting knowledge and we're sharing opinions. And one of the things that was like a question. And it was, why are so many women not showing off the men, that are paying for their lifestyle?
Why are they not?
Why are they not showing off these men that are paying their lifestyle? And I have my opinions on it, but I wanted to hear, what are your thoughts? Somebody that you've worked with many models, beautiful women. I mean, you look at their Instagram and you can obviously kind of see, the kind of lifestyle that they may be living and, whatever.
But they never show who's the one funding all
Exactly. So I wanted to know your opinion based on that. What do you think is going on there?
Right, for the most part, the girls already know what they're doing. Like, it took me a second to really catch on to that, but they want to make it seem like they're the ones doing this all on their own and by themselves, like they achieved it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though again it's the guy really providing for a lot of this. Not only that, it also depends. Again, if there's a guy providing for that, it's usually like one. There's guys that do that just for any random girl, and it's like they're just not gonna show off the guy because they know that the guy's doing that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like artists, not just artists, but anybody with money. They do. There's guys that do that. It's like they're
Yeah.
gonna fly a girl out, have a good time with them, all that. They don't really care if they get showed. They sometimes don't want to get showed off because they just there to
Mm-hmm.
mess around with the girl, like to make sure she has a good time, all that.
Out of 10 models, if we were to put just 10 random models, right? Let's say 100. 100 models, how many of the 100 models do you think are getting some kind of benefit off of a man, some way, shape, or form?
A lot of times, they're always, I would say, all of them would be getting a benefit if, well, yeah, they pretty much are always getting, no matter what. It's like a female in this world, I feel like it's always benefiting regardless because they're not paying for anything. So whether it's financially they're benefiting or even just with their social media now, they get to flex, do all of that, build up their platform.
Mm-hmm.
Just from that, it's like I feel like they all get to benefit from that at the end of the day.
And do you think that hurts women, or do you think that that's like a good thing?
I
for
feel
them?
like it definitely hurts women. I was just talking to my boy about this earlier because now a lot of girls believe like they gotta live that lifestyle, or they gotta go through those same things or do the same things as those other girls to be where they're at. And I feel like that's completely wrong. Like you don't have to fuck with a nigga to do all this stuff or have a guy always sponsor. Like you should be wanting to own things and do things yourself. Like not always have someone sponsor your lifestyle.
Mhm.
Because then it's like you're not gonna go anywhere in life doing that. Is literally. Where was I going with this?
Well, one of the other things that I was thinking, because all these girls have sugar daddies, right? So the question is like, who is your sugar daddy? Who's the guy that's paying? And you know, there are people who, they make money, and like this is an example. If I'm making $5,000 a day, right? In a month, 30 days, 150,000 a month. If I make 150,000 a month, what is paying a girl 2-3,000 to come hang out?
Yeah,
Literally.
It's
I can pay a girl 2-3,000 just
it's
to come hang out every week.
It's definitely becoming, I feel like, the new normal now. I'm starting to notice how easy it is to become popular. One, like famous when it comes to like even social media. When it comes to actually making money, that's a different thing right there. But just the popularity alone convinces women to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely feel like that's the new normal now. Or say that.
Yeah.
Part.
I mean, okay, so it leads me to the other question that I was gonna say when I was having this conversation. There are women who are like, literally, brother, I've seen women who they say they're models, and I'm like, yo, you're an absolute 5. You're.
Oh, I agree. Oh my god! Like to keep it 100% honest, like even my agency alone, I consider them more like video vixens for like music videos and like little things. But when it comes to being an actual like Vogue or even like to me a model is like right. Well, the model and acting is two different things. So I was like, just to be an actual real model though, you got to be doing like real big things. Like you got to be a real influencer, doing bigger platforms for like bigger commercials. Most of these girls are just doing like music videos, like I said, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they call themselves models, and that's cool. They're one of the things that I think is important for men to know is that pedestalizing women is not good for neither the man or the woman because it's inflating their ego, making them harder to deal with as people, right? And then it's also putting you as a man down, where it's making you look less of a man because you're putting somebody above you in a way. Instead of just being that, normal, natural, having normal conversations. I'm pretty sure that as a photographer or as a videographer, as a producer, somebody in the industry, you came to realize that if you just talk to models normal, they're normal people too. They, when I had a modeling agency, one of the things that I realized was like, these girls are normal. Like, and a lot of times how they look on camera is definitely not what they look like in real life.
That's a major one right
Yeah,
there.
they could be a 7, 6. That's above average, in my scale.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a 6 is a beautiful girl.
And that's just one thing. Again, then when it comes to their whole financial and their whole lifestyle, it's like
Oh,
that'd
man.
be a complete shit show. Especially again, since when they used to live in those expensive lifestyle, being sponsored and all that, they never got to really focus on themselves, and they just living off of other people.
They're parasites, and then all of a sudden that guy stops paying for their lifestyle, and then now they got to fake it till they make it again.
Yeah,
And that's a horrible, that sucks.
I agree. That's
I-
exactly why it goes back to that. I can never deal with any of these models. It's like,
Please tell me why. What exactly is it that makes you,
just that whole industry is really, I feel like, all about that whole sex sales thing. And it's like, even working with like bigger companies and the bigger people, like besides the models, is like that's what they look for. That is actually what they look for. Is they like girls that look good and that they can sell themselves 100%.
Yeah.
So after really realizing that that's what these industries are also looking for, is like I can't be dealing with a model because it's like they just want a girl that they could just
Monetize.
yeah, at the end of the day.
I know married men, and a lot of times, women who are living these lifestyles, they are being paid off by these guys who are married and have families and, are wealthy. And a lot of times they don't realize that the reason why that these men are even, paying them is so that they can keep it quiet. You understand? They're getting paid to keep it private, pretty much. So a lot of guys in their early 20s, they feel kind of, they can't compete. They're hopeless. A lot of guys, they're just like, wow, this girl I grew up with, she's my age, she's beautiful. Every dude in the hood try to get with her. Every guy in my area, my, wherever you live, all the dudes want this one girl, or giving attention to this girl, and then inadvertently you see that girl go from this sweet young girl to now she's like a super very inflated mind, and speaking down to people, not really giving anybody any like attention, and just thinking she's above men. I think that's a bit distasteful, and a lot of guys probably get annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
100%. Me personally, no, but I tend to read the room a lot and like read people, so I could definitely know exactly what you're talking about. That literally goes back to why I could never deal with these models. Like they are gaslighted a lot. A lot to it. It's like I need myself a regular 9 to 5 girl that's not interested in this whole industry.
Yeah.
Stuff. Unless she's trying to be like an entrepreneur and build her own business, which is different. But
Ashley says the same thing. She won't. I don't think she'd date like somebody in the industry.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Says that the guys in the industry are just trying to hit.
yeah.
Kind of. I was telling her, guys outside of the industry are also just trying to hit.
Yeah, it'd be like that too. It's like you really just gotta keep it. That's why I was like, really, I've been to myself lately, cause I've noticed that it's like girls in and out the industry are just the same, but it's like you just gotta really be careful who you pick with and like really get to know somebody. Cause my thing is, I'm ready to just get straight to it, right in a relationship. Like I won't take time to get to know you. Like I'll know you as we're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
But you really do gotta get time to know people sometimes. Like they get to hide a lot of things that you wouldn't know about.
Yeah, there's but yeah, what have you seen with regards to the dating market? What have you seen the dating market? How has it been for you? What have you been picking up on the changes? And
I've dated very few girls, but my opinion on that is that market is complete shit right now. Like literally, especially in New York at that. Like I'm trying to see what it's like outside of New York, but New York, everybody knows everybody, and it's so easy to access a celebrity or just any influencer or anybody with money out here in New York.
So for the women, it's very easy for them to have access to these men.
Especially in New York. That's why I'm like, I can never and I would never date anybody in New York because it's like I already know how that goes.
So you think what are the women? You're saying the women are ran through in New York, pretty much.
100%.
You really?
I don't know. I'm not saying everybody
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
but majority that I've witnessed from my point of view definitely are, and it's like it's just very small.
So let me ask this. So would you say that a small group of men are having sex with majority of the women, or do you think like these like regular guys your age 9 to 5 or whatever?
When you put it like that, nowadays I would definitely feel like there's like a good selected handful of men. Or a good handful though, don't get me wrong. It's still a good mixture, don't get me wrong. But I definitely do agree with that.
Like
I do. To a certain extent.
a small group of guys have access to all the girls because they have all the money, and
Yeah.
then everybody else is kind of pretty much trying to survive.
To a certain extent.
You're getting the crumbs of the guys who they're using these girls and then just like forgetting about them, and those girls their experiences. Oh well, I've been with all those guys and it hasn't worked out, so let me try to find like a good guy, and then so the good guys are getting the girls that are already ran through by the guys who have the money.
Yep, that's exactly the case. That's why it's like me personally, I always look for somebody that's like not ran through. So it's like, but again, I just gotta believe them when they say that. And then this goes back to something else I seen on a whole different podcast a while ago, which was would you rather date older women or younger women? And then it was something about dating younger women that they said because they're not as ran through as older women. And I'm like, I never thought about it like that, but I'm like, that makes total sense because it's like girls do tend to be loyal-ish. Again, it's like young though, they still don't even know what they want. So it's like, it doesn't make sense to ever date a young woman. But, yeah, no, sorry. I'm just starting to think about this. That podcast was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as I've grown, I've seen women go from being the most desired, most wanted, to being, now they're like third strings.
Yeah, bro.
And they're doing everything in their power. They're going getting surgeries. They're
that's
still
another thing too. I'm not a fan of, honestly, but they could do what they want.
It's weird to see women how they try to hang on, they try to hang on for dear life.
They're used to the fast money too, and don't get me wrong, like I've worked in these nightlifes, even like I got to talk to strippers, bartenders, even models. It's like, again, this is all fast money. You're making a lot of money pretty quick and easily. But again, that's not always the best money to make. And not only that, if you don't know what you're doing with that or investing in it into, you're just gonna they get comfortable doing the same thing.
What's a lot of money for a model? Like, how much money are models making, and how do they determine how much they should be getting paid?
Minimum, I know that for a fact is $100 an hour. So that's already, every model is different. At the end of the day, I don't know how frequently they're being booked, but I know they're making more than most men and most 9 to 5 people all the time. It's like they're always making more money.
And then couple that with OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is a whole nother thing. It's like, yeah. So it's like a woman just got so much opportunities to make money an easier way than guys, and more money at that.
What are your thoughts on that?
It makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Sex sells, like you said, and it's like, nah, I can't say that though on here. But
what you was gonna say, man? You was gonna say something deep,
right? Let me think real quick.
How to phrase it?
Yeah, how to phrase it a little better.
Hey, man, listen.
Keep going for a second.
Yeah.
Get back to it.
Yeah, believe me, I know you got to keep it real political. Keep it chill. I don't keep it chill. I run my own shit. I live my life my own way. I don't have a boss or anything. I don't, so I can say whatever the hell I want to whoever I want. The only thing I got to make sure is I keep it chill. I do that because personally I think that's that's like respectful.
Yeah.
However, what I will say is, yeah, a lot of women are, fast money comes with slow problems. So I think a lot of times they get involved, they get fast money, they get the attention, which is also a form of currency for women. It's like just feeding their ego. And what I like to kind of do is to remind women, because sometimes they live in this world where they think they're the baddest thing in the world. So what I like to do is I just like to pull up with a baddie. You know, just show them sometimes like, hey,
Yeah,
you look good, but
come on now.
there's thousands of you literally. Like there's literally so
What
many.
I've really learned too lately is like not giving them attention is what really is the key there.
Yeah.
It's like once they notice that, they're like, not giving me attention. It's like I
Mhm.
realize a lot of guys, honestly, they just be right on it right away. Like, you look good. Like, what's up? You got a number, Instagram,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. That doesn't already entertain me. So I notice that intrigues a lot of girls already too. It's like when you're not really heavily on them. Right. I was trying to think of the other thing too, but
You're like a one punch thought kind of guy. Like you give me one good thought, and then you're just like, damn, I forgot the rest.
I know, right? I'm working on it.
Yeah, now you
Don't
good,
go
brother. You good. But yeah, man, there's a lot of there's a lot to dissect there. You know, women are definitely in positions where, you know, they are blowing up, in the sense that they are becoming in the adult industry, in the modeling, and just in entertainment in general. They kind of have a space to be delusional, or a space to kind of be in their own world, and think about the, you know, think that everything is always gonna be the way it is at the moment, you know, not realizing that what they're doing is soft. I call it soft
porn.
it's soft core prostitution,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's they're not in a hotel stuck in a room
And
getting guys to just come in, and you know, but they're doing that, but in the open world.
And don't get me wrong, I already got to meet those type of girls too, so that's totally a thing still, which I'm learning all about still with this whole modeling industry thing.
Oh yeah, people are running through them. You know, at one time I parked outside of a motel, and I looked at, it was like no lie. In 1 hour of me being parked, I was waiting for somebody that was like doing a job thing. And in the 1 hour that I was parked there, I saw at least 15 guys, minimum in an hour, 15 guys walk in and out of a room, in and out. And I would see the girl open up, or come in, boom, I see the guys pull up, park, guy come in, boom.
Bro,
And it was like clockwork.
No, this is scary industry right here. I kid you not. That's why I really want to been stepping out of it. Cause it's like I noticed stuff like that, and it's like, bro, I've witnessed some crazy shit. Don't get me wrong.
Yo,
Like,
what have you witnessed?
I could speak about it. Like I want to one day. Don't get me wrong. I wish today was the day, but
Today ain't the day, man. Keep it chill then, man. But as long as people understand that those things are happening and they're out there.
just so y'all can know, though, yeah, literally, those things are happening. Even again with these celebrities, like I was amazed working with a lot of these celebrities, like major superstars. Like they're no different from like even the average person. They're over here doing a lot and a lot going on. There's a lot going on
yeah.
behind them doors. It's like
Yeah, people don't understand that these are men at the end of the day, and men want to have sex, and they want to do what they do. So people don't understand, you know, once they get the status, they're going to enact on those things. And women to think that these men aren't going to cheat is kind of crazy. It's like, come on. You're not going to get, I don't care who it is, like, you're not going to get with a celebrity and he's not going to exercise his options. Like, even if just a guy with money, he's going to do it. If a broke dude is going to do it, imagine when the guy has money.
Yeah.
And I'm big on this, man. Like, I literally mention every podcast just to drive it into people's souls, like, especially women. Men cheat. Men are going to cheat.
Yeah, honestly, right? That's why I have that clear communication with my girl all the time. Like, me personally is like, I've learned my self-well too, even with my ex for 4 or 5 years, and we was about to do it too. But yes, we're gonna have our urgencies, but this is why I look like, to put it in perspective, I'm okay being in a polyester relationship. So it's like
in a
two girls, and it's like, for me personally, I would just want my one main girl though. Like I really care about her, but you know, there's always that one girl that come around.
Yeah, you gotta have something on the side, because if not, this is
some girls think that they need that vice versa thing.
Nah,
too,
but that's
like, now they need a guy. But if that's the case, I understand you.
No.
But not with me.
Hold on. There's no understanding that. You know what it is? It's women who want to be men, because it's not natural for a woman
I
to
kinda
have
noticed that,
multiple men.
yeah.
It's not natural. I don't want to hear like there's nothing a woman could say. You can't beat nature, and it's not natural for you to want to have a multiple men relationship. And if it were natural, speaking to this one girl who I had to like cut off, like if it was natural for you to do that, then why aren't you posting up? Because it's easy for a woman to get a bunch of dudes. Why aren't you
Right?
posting up your two guys and just living it up? And how a dude would, if he had two girls, he'd post it up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you
He'd throw
totally
it.
right there. I ain't gonna hold you. I never thought of it like that,
They're not
bro.
doing it. Like, where are all these guys? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it's like, cause women just are women. What I've come to realize is during this time, women hate men. They don't like the fact that we are different than they are. They feel
Mhm.
they feel like they have to be more than us. They want to live that they want to get to the top 20% lifestyle. And really, I wouldn't even say top 20% because it's really the top 10%. They want to get into that lifestyle and they don't realize that lifestyle is not for you. You're not that.
That's one, and you can't fuck your way to the top.
You can't do it.
Literally.
You're just, because this is what women have to understand. Like, yes, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You could be a complete beautiful, a 10. And 10 are not that many 10s out there. But believe me, there's still so
Natural
many.
10.
Yeah, there's still so many 10s that you're like regular. You're really regular.
Yep.
Have you been on Instagram? Have these girls really like been on Instagram? Like, goddamn, you go on Instagram and you could just click on anybody's
Like
page,
duplicates of
and
them.
you're gonna find, like, man, yo, brother, listen, I had you know what I got on Instagram when Instagram wasn't even part of Facebook.
Yeah. I know what you're
Legit,
talking
I
about.
was on Instagram before anybody. I think I might have been like the second dude to subscribe to Instagram. Like, I had Instagram early on, right? And one of the things that I kind of realized early on was like, okay, there's a bunch of beautiful women in here. Let me just start. I started just following
Follow.
all the beautiful. Like, if you were beautiful, I hit that follow button because I was trying to see where this was going. I was
Get
like,
that follow back.
can I get the follow back? That was my thing, right? So after I don't follow dudes. Like, I was just real strict on it. I would only follow my friends. Everybody else was models. And these girls, first of all, like, I seen girls like transition over time. Like, I seen them go from a 10 to a 9 to a 8 to a 7 to a 6 to a 5. Some of these girls have even gone below that. You know what I mean? Over time they age, and it's been bad. But one thing that I did notice about models, just following these women in general, was that there's so many of them. There's you go on one page, and then you realize that all her friends are beautiful, and then you click on one of her random friends, and you realize that girl has a whole nother friend group, and they're all beautiful. And then you can do that for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And it's just a nonstop, nonstop.
That's why now it really became more of a thing that I gotta, most of the time before I even try to talk to any females, like, I gotta get to meet you in person, talk to you, and really like exchange energy and really like see what you are like how you are mentally, because that's really what's the deal breaker for me. It's like, all right, I know all these girls got the looks and all that. It's just,
but they don't see that. They think that they're special.
like they're the one.
They think they're the most special thing in the world, which is, have some confidence. Yeah, men love a woman with confidence, but also be humble.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, they're not humble. Yeah, man. But how long we been going, Chris? Hour 52. Let's go for 8 more minutes, and then we could wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? I think it's been a good conversation.
100%.
So we got 8 minutes, man. What do you want to chop it up about? Anything you have in mind? Like, what are the things that you think about the most on a daily basis?
How to get rich.
How to get rich. Okay, so what have you found? What are some of the keys that you found? What books do you read?
So, for starters, I never read a book. I want to read a book. So sorry for anybody that sees this, but I still do a lot of research, and I do like a lot of reading in other ways that still helps me out. But for the main thing, I've just been I look at the main things. One being stocks is a major thing. So I definitely invest into stocks, and that's been taking me a long way right now. Real estate is another thing that I've been looking into. It's extremely difficult to get into, but been doing my research, planning my way of getting into it. And even like rental equipment, like my camera equipment, renting cars. I work with a lot of car rental companies. Been getting into that. Those are like some of the ways I've been getting into this. And all of this goes back into knowing how to market it, which makes it good that I'm a director slash photographer, so I know how to shoot my own thing, and then I can promote my own business how I need to.
Yeah, no, we're gonna link up. I definitely want to talk to you about, some of the, some ideas that you may have that can kind of help us out.
100%.
And
Always down to network.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I always look, to grow. I got a squad, man. My squad, I think I got the best squad in the world.
Yeah.
Seriously, all jokes aside, brother. Like, man, I can't speak enough about these guys.
Next
like,
time, I'm gonna have my boy Osvaldo and Angelica here.
Yeah.
Like one of the models in the industry, and then my boy that does the cause she's my literally best friend since like middle school. Like we got into this together, and like she understands all of this with me 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because she's literally the first girl I started taking pictures with, and then she got into the whole modeling industry, and now she's very big in it now, doing her own thing. So it's like I know she got a lot to say as well too.
Yo, let's bring her on, man. But you guys come back on. That'll be dope.
100%.
I would love to hear that conversation, because I'm pretty sure that you guys just in general have some really dope conversations. So seeing you guys kind of go in would probably be like amazing.
Yeah, no, totally. Next time, I'm definitely let him know, cause it's man funny too, cause me and my boy we be watching a lot of like Andrew Tate.
Oh
podcasts.
yeah, Andrew
And honestly,
Tate.
I agree with him with a lot of things. So me and her always be honestly, she finally got the gist though, like where we coming from. Like guys really are different from girls. And it's like we play two complete different roles in my opinion at the end of the day, and we really actually do.
Yo, that is a fact. And to try to get women to understand that, man, especially when they're young and they think that the world is I'm just gonna look cute, and you're getting that box beat now.
No, for
but
real.
in 4 or 5 years, when it's all labias is hanging out and no one really wants you, then it's kind of
figuring it out.
Now you're gonna have
to. It'd be too difficult.
It's too late, because why would anybody want?
And that goes back to all, even guys in general. Guys, young or old, they always looking for the youngest females at that too. So it's like you really gotta make sure you're situated by then.
So, I mean, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. If you bring those guests on, I'll bring some guys who love talking about the topic, right? And we can kind of just go ahead. Maybe we could get like 3 or 4 models, like women, to come in and kind of debate the guys. Let's hear it.
No, I'm totally down for it. I think we could definitely have something good going.
Yeah, that would be dope. Let's get like 3 models, and like let's get 3 or 4 models, and like, cause girls, they're cliquey, so one says something, they'll all agree with what she said.
Yeah, that's a thing right there. That's so.
But if we bring like 4 guys also, or 3 guys, that we can kind of have like a really good discussion, and I think that'll be kind of dope. I'm curious to know what everybody thinks and how things move. So yeah, man, that's the next wave. Let's set that up. But yeah, man, if you'd like to just plug yourself in so that our audience can know who you are. They can, if they're looking for photography or for some direction, they can reach out.
Well, if y'all want to find me on Instagram, it's prior prior.gz. That's where I post a lot of my mainly photography. Then I got pg.productions, where I post more of my video work. And if y'all want to tap in with me on YouTube, YouTube is the same thing, PG Production. I post a lot of my finished work there, videos, photos, all of that. Tap in. I do video. I travel. I do a lot of my work is in New York, but I do travel. I'm always open up to travel.
The budget gotta be right.
100%.
Yeah. He's not no small fry. You go to that Instagram page, you see his work. You're gonna know that it's top quality for sure.
Yeah, so definitely tap in. Make sure y'all follow, subscribe, whatever the case is. I definitely look forward to meeting y'all. If y'all text me anything, I look at all my DMs, no matter who it is. I'll definitely be sure to respond to all of y'all.
Word. You responded to little old me, so I
Alright.
appreciate you,
Nah,
brother.
for sure, for sure.
Thank you so much, man.
That was fun.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna have the brother back on. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you guys for those who are still watching. We appreciate it, and like always, until next time, peace.